What's up, guys? Parker Talks is back. Today I'm going to be doing my predictions for week 5 of the NFL football season. And last week I was only at 508-8, which brings my total up to 40-23 as my record. So let's get going with my top 10 games. But before that, the games that I'm not going to cover that as much, I'm going to have Houston winning against Jacksonville. Two teams on the road, Arizona against the Jets, and also the Rams against the Washington football team, and also two more teams at home winning, the 49ers against the Dolphins and the Cowboys against the Giants. So let's try to make this a lightning round as well. Let's go Thursday Night Football. Tampa Bay is going to Chicago. Nick Foles was in the role as Chicago against the Colts, and he did an okay job. I feel like he's going to be the starter again for this week. I just feel like this is going to be a very similar game to how the Colts game was. I don't feel like they have enough to beat the Patriots. The Patriots actually have one of the best defenses in the NFL as well. They came back with a big comeback against the Chargers when it looked like the Chargers were going to win that game. Tom Brady came back, threw a bunch of touchdowns, and he looks very good as well. I feel like Tampa Bay is going to win this game. Let me look at the line right now. It is 5.5 for Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to win and cover in this game. The Falcons are a 2.5-point favorite at home against the Panthers, but my surprise team is not looking very well this season so far. They didn't look great against the Packers on Monday night, and their defense is 31st worst in the NFL. The Panthers have one of the 6 best passing attacks in the NFL, or offensive stats for the NFL, and they had a great win against the Cardinals in their last game. I'm going to go with Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers. Forget about my dog barking. And the Panthers to win this game against the Falcons. Right now, I just can't trust the Falcons. Next, I have the Bills going to the Titans for this Sunday, and the Titans did not play, as did the Steelers, did not play against each other last Sunday. There were a lot of COVID tests for the Titans. It is looking like the Titans will be able to play the Bills. However, the Bills look like a top 5 team to me in the NFL so far. Josh Allen is playing great, probably an MVP candidate, and definitely next to Russell Wilson for MVP so far this season. And the Bills just look like a great team. Overall, this could be a tough game for the Titans to bounce back in after not playing last week. I feel like the Bills are going to win this game because the Titans mainly have not been able to practice that much. It's going to be a big disability for the Titans. Next, I have the Bengals going to Baltimore, and Baltimore is going to be a 13.5-point favorite in this game. Both teams had wins last weekend as the Ravens bounced back with the win against the Washington football team, and Joe Burrow got his first NFL career win against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is a nice, solid win for Joe Burrow. I don't know if he's going to continue that streak against Baltimore. I feel like Joe Burrow is outplaying Lamar Jackson so far this season, but I'm really worried about the Bengals' rush defense. It's not so great, and the Ravens have a great rushing attack, especially with Lamar Jackson. Although Joe Burrow can run as well, but I'm going to go with the Ravens to win this game. But I feel like the Bengals can cover and make it close to around 10 to 7 points. The Las Vegas Raiders are going to Kansas City. Kansas City is a 12.5-point favorite in this game. I feel like the Raiders are a good team this year. They just had some tough opponents for the past 2 weeks that they weren't able to win, and tough opponents like the Bills and the Patriots. And then the Kansas City Chiefs are undefeated so far this year. They look very good. And I believe they can cover in this game. I feel like it will be close at the start. This is a rivalry game as they are in the same division, but the Chiefs have a lot of firepower, and the Raiders are struggling to give the ball to key players like Darren Waller, while the Chiefs have a lot of those players. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs to cover by about 13-point lead to win this game. Next up, we have a Pennsylvania showdown as we have the Eagles going to the Steelers, and the Steelers are a 7-point favorite in this game. And I feel like this game is going to be close. It's going to be a rivalry game. The Eagles definitely shocked me this past weekend as they beat the 49ers, even with a lot of key assets on offense out in that game. The Steelers just look like I feel like they're going to win this game. I mean, they had a bye week off basically with their game against the Titans being postponed. They have the first best rushing attack in the NFL, and also they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. It says second best defense. I feel like they have the best defense in the NFL, and that against the Eagles struggling on offense. Just when you look at the overall stats, aren't the best when you compare them to the whole league. I feel like the Steelers just match up well against the Eagles, and I feel like they'll win this game by 10 points. The Denver Broncos are going to the New England Patriots this week, and the New England Patriots, they lost against the Chiefs, but they were not able to have their star quarterback Cam Newton playing as he had COVID. Will Cam Newton be back in this game? I'm not sure as of I'm recording this video on Tuesday, so we might know by Thursday. But if Brian Hoyer is starting for the Patriots, I feel like that's still enough for the Patriots to win this game, specifically because they are at home and because they have a great defense, as well as the Broncos are struggling on offense. They did win their game with quarterback Ripien against the Jets last week, but that's against the Jets. The Patriots have a much better defense, and they are at home. I'm going to go with the Patriots in this game if they have Cam Newton or not. The Colts are a 2.5-point favorite on the road against the Cleveland Browns. Both are 3-1 teams matching up in this game. The Cleveland Browns had a big win against the Cowboys, and they're really surprising me as a team, and Baker Mayfield is playing really well so far for the Browns. And the Colts, on the other side, had a big win on the road as well against the Bears, and looked very dominant in that game. Originally, I was going to go with the Browns because I was really surprised about how well Baker Mayfield is actually playing this season, but I looked at the stats, and the Browns have the 32nd worst in the league for passing. Even though Baker Mayfield is playing really well, the defense for the Colts is the first best passing defense. They have a really good passing defense, and also even though the Browns have the first best rushing, the Colts have the fourth best rush defense. So it doesn't really match up well for the Browns. So I'm going to go with the Colts in this game to win by, let's say, 3 points. I think it's going to be a close game. The Vikings are going to the Seahawks and are a 7-point underdog in this game on Sunday Night Football. Both teams had big victories last weekend as the Seahawks went all the way across the country to defeat the Dolphins, and the Vikings had a big momentum-swinging win against the Texans. And if they weren't facing probably the number 1 team or number 2 team in the NFL, they could win this game on Sunday Night Football. But again, Russell Wilson is just looking like the MVP candidate with 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions so far this season. He's playing incredibly well. Both defenses actually on these teams aren't that great, but they're with the Seahawks offense compared to the Vikings defense doesn't look great for the Vikings, even though actually the Seahawks have the worst defense in the NFL. The Seahawks, I still feel like, are going to win this game. They're allowing fans. They're going to be at home. It's going to be louder. So I feel like the Seahawks are going to win this game by 13 points, but it could be a higher scoring game. For Monday Night Football, the Saints are a 7.5-point favorite at home against the Chargers, and the Saints had a good comeback win against the Lions last week, and the Chargers could have beaten the Buccaneers. They played really well in that game, but the Buccaneers had a good comeback with Tom Brady in that game, and the Chargers don't look bad as a team. They look really good, honestly, and the Saints feel like they have every televised NFL game this year on national television, but they are playing on Monday night, and they are playing at home in New Orleans, and I feel like New Orleans will always wins on national televised games, especially Monday night for some reason. I'm going to go with the Saints in this game as I feel like Drew Brees is stepping back and going to be very, very good this season as the quarterback for the Saints when people might have some doubts. And Kamara is just playing really well and is leading the team in rushing and passing. I'm going to go with the Saints in this game by 10 points. So those are my predictions for Week 5 of the NFL season. If you disagree or you agree, comment down below. I would love to know. So I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.